Hello, welcome to the Bushcraft Medic YouTube channel. I am the Bushcraft Medic. Today I was going to do an isolated review of my Becker BK2 companion knife. This will probably be an ongoing review. This is part one, my initial thoughts on this knife. I've used this on about 2 or 3 camping trips now. One of them extended out to the woods by myself. And I'd like to go through it, give you my impressions, show you what I've done to it, and give you the reasons and philosophies for this particular knife. Before we get to the knife, let me kind of give you how it came about. I started looking into bushcraft, and I decided, okay, I want a really decent bushcraft knife. And I started doing a YouTube, or not a YouTube, a Google search, best bushcraft knife, because everybody wants the best. And I'm no different. I want the best. And so I started looking, and there were several options. The knife that kept getting mentioned a lot was the Becker. Actually, it was mentioned quite a bit. Initially, the Becker was a Camillus knife, which they're out of business now. KBar picked them up, so this is a KBar version. And people were like, "Man, this is a really hardy little knife." And what kind of threw me off at first was, I'm a former Marine. I like tactical stuff. And I like kind of wicked looking stuff, you know. I have an AK-47, I have it decked out, you know. You'll see my shotgun behind me has a reacher tip, you know. I'm all about, you know, looking kind of gruff and intimidating. And this was, imagine it all in black, kind of a plain little knife. I mean, I was like, okay. But everybody really liked it. And I thought, well, man, if everybody really likes this, maybe I'll get the bigger brother, which I'll still get, the BK7 or the BK9. It's a little longer, all this other stuff. Well, after reviewing stuff and looking at different perspectives, I thought, well, I already have a bigger knife. My KBar, my other KBar, it's big brother. I already have a big knife, so I don't really need that big knife. I need something that I can carry on me all the time when I'm in the woods. It's not going to get my way. That is still beefy, that's beast. And, you know, 5 inches, 1/4 inch thick, 10.5 inches overall, heavy, robust blade. Man, this it goes a long way. I can chop all the way through 4.5 inches of stuff. I mean, maybe more. You know, I've used this as a pry bar. Like I said the other day, my girlfriend locked herself in the car, and I came in, and I used a pry bar, pried it open, put my knife in, and kind of pried it open, got my pry bar a little deeper, open, and then I used this as a shim as I stuck in my hook and pulled it out, and I don't win. It took me about 30. I mean, it was about that fast, about as fast as I mentioned it to you. That's about how fast I worked, because my tools were extraordinary. There was no give, there was no nothing. It was just, it's coming. I mean, the knife was beating the door. So I said, okay, I want a bushcraft knife. I decided I want something smaller, shorter, 5 inches, because I already have a big one. I want it to be stout and sturdy. Everybody was mentioning this, and I took the jump on this, and I decided, okay, I want this. And it came in, and it kind of had a real crappy way of putting it on. Like, you know, it was kind of like this Tech Lock, and then it had like a little nylon sheath, and so it would kind of flap, and I don't like flapping. More in addition, you know, I like being able to put my knife in a more military fashion, just because it is what it is. So if I wanted to hook it up here, I could. Normally, though, I set it on my belt. Sit it on my belt, kind of like this, and it sits on this side so that I can reach and grab if I needed to. That's just how I prefer it. So, you know, I went with this, and the first thing I noticed was, man, it's a plain little knife. But then the next thing I noticed when I picked it up is, holy crap, this feels awesome in your hand. I mean, it has such a great center of balance. It feels so light, because it's like the balance is right here, like right at the top. I mean, right there. So when you're holding it, that's where all the control's at. I mean, where your hand ends, that's where the control's at. So if you had to do work with it, it's great. And if you didn't, you still have a lot of control right here. You're not top heavy. I really like that about it. I like how thick and beefy it is, because I'm not afraid to hurt this knife. And I took that fear by talking about some modifications, I took a Dremel and I took the coating off because it chipped. The coating chip, that's probably its one flaw. After the first time I took it out, and I said screw it, I took it, sanded it, and I just have to keep a little oil on it because this is 1095 carbon steel, which means it sparks real good, but it rusts real good. So I have to maintain it. That's fine with me. I don't mind maintaining my tools. I'm minded that you maintain your tools, don't maintain you. And also I noticed that it didn't come with, like right up here was real slick. So I did my own jimping. Let's see if I can get a good angle on it. There you go. Again with a Dremel to give me some good grab, and it does. It gives me some good grab. Gives me some good grab. I'm thinking about doing some additional jimping up here up top so that I can use it like this if I had to, but probably not. I'll probably just use it this way. All in all, I can't say enough about this little knife. It has good heft. The weight is heavy that you feel you have something in your hand, but not heavy enough where it bogs you down. The length is perfect for camping tools. I mean, you're not intimidating people. I took this walking with me as I went to a hike, and you know, I'm here out in where I'm at in a local park, not even a national forest or whatever, and I had it on my belt, and people looked down at it, but they didn't seem alarmed by it. If I had carried something like this, they'd probably been like, oh, what the crap, right? So, you know, probably not the best thing to walk into a bank with or whatever, but it can do. I've carried this on my belt under my jacket. It's small enough where it's concealed. I don't recommend it. At 5 inches, I think you're pushing the legal limits in a lot of states. I think most states like as wide as your hand or no bigger than 5 inches, and this is a 5-inch blade, so, you know, it's pretty close. Even so, you could probably explain this to a cop a lot better than you could something else, and it's not threatening shape. I like that. It's just a tool that can be a tool, if you know what I'm saying. Let's talk about some of the other stuff I've done with it. I've done some modification. I've put some cordage on the back. The way it is strapped, it will work as a lanyard. I just normally don't use it as such right now because I haven't had a need. I haven't been hacking with it. I have a bigger knife for that, so I went ahead and put a tech lock on it. And this tech lock can be adapted so I can hang it. I mean, it opens this way, but I can make it open this way instead if I just take off the stuff and turn it. So I can hang it this way or hang it, you know, any way I like. I like that. It cost me an extra $10. I put some Ranger bands on here, and I have a combustion tool. Right here, you probably can't see it, but there's like a little inner tube piece, and that has a couple of hooks in it. On this side here, I have what's it called? Water purification and wet fire. And this, if I had to, I could strip it down and make fishing string. So my thought is, you know, hey, I'll put the fishing string right through one of these little, you know, grommet holes right here. You know, grab a little weight, toss it out, and then I can use this to just fish with if I had to. You know, I have a good place, and it's a self-contained fishing kit, self-contained fire tool. You know, again, great knife. I would trust my life to this knife. As a matter of fact, I do trust my life to this knife every time I go out, because if stuff really went wrong, you know, this is what's on me. This is what I trust. If something attacks me, this is what's on me. This is what I trust. And, you know, it feels so good that I have no doubts about it. I'm sure that there are tons of other knives, people with other choices. And you know what, guys? I would love to hear what you have to say. If you have a BK, let me know your experiences. If you have another knife, let me know what you think, and let me know how it compares and why you chose that one. Give me a video response. It's cool. Also, something else I should mention is for the money. Everything I get, I try to make high value. That's why I redid these. I mean, these are my military ones. It cost me nothing. But, you know, for the money, I paid $60 for this. You know, I saw a destruction test where they took an EZ, you know, they put it up against this in a vise. They started chopping it. First it looked like the EZ was going, then they deadlocked. And when they deadlocked, both blades were about exactly the same amount of damage on each other. You know, maybe this one had a fraction. I mean, 1 or 2% more damage. And the difference is $300 versus $60. You know, if this gets, you know, lost or stolen or wrecked or whatever, I'm out $60. Not a huge deal, but it gives me a couple of $100 worth of value. Actually, it's infinitely, you know, invaluable to me because it's a great tool. So all in all, I can really recommend this particular knife. I have some other knives that I will do individual reviews on, including another actual bushcraft camp knife, my Buck 119 Special. It's a cheap knife. Well, I say cheap, it was 60 back in the day. It's like 30 bucks now. It's also a really good knife, but it doesn't compare to this. I mean, very few knives I've held do. You know, just like I say, if I had one weapon that I'm taking, you know, if it's a pistol, it's my ZZ. If it's, you know, my shotgun, it's going to be pump action. I like simplicity. I like stuff that works. This works. This would be my knife. I would drop this and leave it, you know, I would drop this and leave it. I would drop everything else and leave it if I had to and grab this, because this gives me overall the best versatility, the best package, the best performance for all the needed tasks. Some things that others may be better at, but all in all, this thing rocks. This thing performs. Anyway, that's my review on the Becker BK2 companion knife. This is Bushcraft Medic, out.